A book every day can keep the reality away. Apparently, I've been through reality a lot, and anyone who know me know that I read a lot. And recently, I lost that habit, and I was very devastated because I didn't enjoy myself not reading because I felt a great part of my habit, like my life was reading, and then suddenly I couldn't read, and that was like a really sad thing to me. And so I tried going back to that habit, and so I have been trying very light books. And now, since the year entered and new year started, I saw people posting about the books they read, and I also wanted to share the books that I read. And so these are the books that I read. It's not too many, like few books. So the first book I read this year, past year, 2025, is The Particular Sadness of a Lemon Cake by Amy Bender. So this book is about a girl who suddenly realizes she can understand the emotion by tasting food. So someone prepare the food and she can feel the emotions they're having while preparing that food. So her family is really interesting. They have a lot of things that you need to explore if you read that book. And it was a good start for me, actually. Another book I read, so the second book I started reading, it was actually not a reading, it was Audible audiobook. Uh, and I was happy to have this because I got this book borrowed from my university library the previous year when I was going through that block in reading. So in 2023, I tried borrowing The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. And this book, I had my eye on it ever since 2020s, like 2020 or 2021, because that time I remember during the Valentine Day, ISA Kolkata Literary Club had this Secret Valentine, and I got someone from 16MS, and I gave him this book. And that time I wanted to read it. I didn't get time to, and I really wanted to read it because the first book I owned at the age of like 15 was God of Small Things, and I don't know how many times I have reread it. And sometimes if I stay alone, like I sit back and it's, I just think about Rahel and Esther. So God of Small Things, like it's so close to me. And Ministry of Utmost Happiness was narrated by Miss Roy. So it was so nice to hear hear her reading that, and I really enjoyed it. Like there are parts where I like listened back again and again and again, and I really like that book. While reading also, I was like interested, like I thought it is interesting, and I was fascinated by how she incorporated the Quran, actually when the book was written, like in 2010s, the scenario and everything. So I really enjoyed it. And that was I oh, that was not my first Audible book, by the way, audiobook, because I tried Kai Bird's American Prometheus when the movie came out. So that was my first audiobook, but this was my second one. And I think it was a big one, and I was busy, but I finished in kind of like sooner than I expected myself to be. So I tried to like indulge me in reading and listening to books and such things. So I started listening to podcasts also. So I came across something very interesting. So that is the Empire podcast by Anita Anand and William Dalrymple. So they talk about history. They had like really nice episodes. I don't vouch for all the episodes because I haven't heard them and I'm not a regular listener. But sometimes I do listen to them, and it's really nice that they have these authors come in and then they talk about things. And there are like, I feel like, cute facts from history. It's not like cute, but like, the interesting facts from history. And so I really liked it. Yeah, so that was one thing I heard, and most of my history recommendations in books come from them. And then I also took a subscription of Storytel. So from Storytel, I started listening to this book by H. Mukuti. So this was Ende Jeevidam. Sorry, my bad. That was ഇതെന്റെ രക്തമാണ് ഇതെന്റെ മാംസമാണ് എടുത്തുകൊള്ളുക by H. Mukuti. So I have heard about this book and I didn't know much about it because the only thing I heard about it was the controversy with Kavi Ayyappan, and I wanted to read it, and then like I didn't feel like it because I was going through that reading block. And then I thought, okay, it's time to listen to this. And I listened to it. And I was very shocked to listen to that. So I was, during that time, I was traveling. I was on a flight and I was listening to this all this time, all this while. And then it was like, oh my God, I can't say. I really liked it. It was very disheartening to know that this is a reality that happened. So she writes well, and she's now in Middle East, I think. And she comes for like literature festivals in Kerala. So that was my another audiobook. Then Storytel also have some ebooks. So I was bored and I wanted something light, maybe a romance or something. And then I didn't really know what I wanted to read. So I just wanted, that time I was like, okay, I want to spend some time and I want to read something. So that is when I came across this book, Sugar Bread. You might not have heard about it. It's by Balika Jaswal. So she's an Indian origin. So the story, the protagonist is also an Indian, but they are in, I think, Singapore. So she grew up there, and it's her story and her daughter's story. And it was also a good one. Like, I liked it. It was very light. It was light for me, but the book had some, like, it's not very light novel, I would say. It has some bumps and all. But it's a good one. I liked it. And then before the Nobel Prize, like yeah, that was the 2024 Nobel Prize, right? So Han Kang, and then The Vegetarian, everyone was talking about it. So I have few friends here who are like, so they all now, by now they all graduated or at least defended. So they were all like elder women to me, and I really like their company. And we are from different departments, so we very rarely meet, but it is very fun to meet them, to talk to them, to have different perspectives and all. And some of us really like to read. And so one person had this book, Vegetarian, and I borrowed it from her and I read it, and we wanted to discuss about it. And one day we actually met with the intent of discussing this book. And then we had a good discussion. And then with her, I went for my further exploration of Barnes and Nobles and purchased a lot of books. But this was also really psychological novel, I would say. It's based in Korea. So we have this protagonist, her sister, her family. So they're like two daughters, and their family, and this lady is married and she's living with her husband, and suddenly she says that I'm becoming a vegetarian. I'm not eating anything meat, and she stopped eating. People try to force her eating, and like this is all a little bit cultural also, because you'll know when you read it. And so that was really a different one, and I like that one too. Then another was from my to be read list from a long time ago, and that was An Ocean of Air, and it's about the air we live in, like the atmosphere. So that was like the incidents that are involved. I mean, the historic events in discovering things about atmosphere, like from the start, like how gases were discovered, how like ancient people thought about atmosphere, and then how like throughout the history we discovered bit by bit, and to the point of like how ozone depletion was discovered, and then the efforts, and after that like the research that actually went on, the story of all of it, and it was really nice read. Then I watched this movie in Netflix, the Guernsey Literary Poet Society, Potato Peel Pie Society. Actually, I think I have to look back to the title again. Yeah, the title is The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. So this book take place somewhere around after World War II, and it's in a village. So this author gets a letter from a person, and she's very famous. She's looking for next pitch, and then uh, she discovers a story behind the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. So, what is that potato peel pie doing there with a literary club? So, I really liked it. Like, it was a romance, history, like kind of like the after effects of war and stuff, like how the World War was like doing to that border village and stuff like that. And that was my type of novel. I really liked it. Then I have always wanted to read Fitzgerald, and the first one I want to read his letters to Filda, but the first one apparently was an ebook I started. That is the story of the curious case of Benjamin Button. I loved that story. It's a small story, so lovely. I liked it. So whenever I'm reading something, and there are plots that I can also think of, but there are some things that I never thought of, and I'm very, very, very appreciating that creativity of that writer, right? So I like that how he came up with that story. It's really, I mean, funny. Then some Feynman. So I have a friend here. He started reading. Oh, actually, I started reading about his notes, and then he read some book and he said, "Oh, these are good." So I also started checking out books by Feynman from the university library, and I read the Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, and then that was like the book Sumedha and I talked once, so she really talked about it, and she was really suggesting that I should read it, and I got time this time. Then I also, after that, like since I liked Surely You're Joking, I followed The Pleasure of Finding Things Out. That was really, I feel like there is a connection for me with books. So it's really fate. I don't believe in fate, but like I really feel like books are brought to me by fate. And the time I read it, they are like real. I feel personal with that. So this is a good time. I really got that, that pump it up, that energy from those books. Then it was already mid of the year, and the book came that I was expecting. Mother Mary Comes to Me. So, and Miss Roy was doing a tour, and she came to the states, and she was coming to Louisiana, I think. And I could go, like it was just one night journey by bus, but then in the last moment, I thought about it a lot, and then I decided, okay, this is not yet time to meet her, so I didn't go for that. And but I already got a copy at home, for this book by Penguin Random Books. And then this one I again went for Audible, because I have this copy back at my home in Kerala, but then I really wanted to, I was so waiting for that. So in November, I wanted to read it. Like I was waiting. Like I downloaded the book, but then I didn't start. And every day I was compelled to start it, but then I was like, no, not it, not it, not it, because I had things to do. So I like, okay, Amrita, relax, don't think about it, don't start. And then finally I took that book, so I started it, and again she's the one narrating. And man, with Miss Roy, I feel so connected. I don't know, God or Small Things touched me in ways, I don't know, maybe you also feel the same way. But that book is kind of a Bible to me. I mean, I won't say the Bible so that like I go back and look at it, but like it's like that close to me. And she's my favorite author. I don't want to fan them anyone, but she's my favorite so far. And I really like her style. I really like her language, and I like her writing. So I really like that. It was so nice of her to write that book, and it was so bold, and I really appreciate her courage to come up with that. And I consider my mom my very my comrade. So, and we also have a tangible relation. So there is another book I really liked, that is Crying in H Mart. You should check it out. And that's so good. That's so good that it's based on a Korean mother who migrated to US after marriage, and her daughter who grew up in US. So there is like things going on between these two. There is generation and linguistic. There are so many things, and that book is actually a memoir. So I really like that. So whenever this is also a book that touched me in the same level, and I really liked it. You should check it out. Then there were a few more books that I tried to read. So I have started reading a book by I forgot, P. Kunjuraman Nair. So Nityaganige Tedi. But I never got time to finish it. It's not that I don't like it. I like it so much, and I enjoy reading it, and it's really good Malayalam. I like that Malayalam. And then I love that book, but it's so big, and it takes time to digest. So it's so big. That's the case that I don't have time to spare to read that. Sometime I'll get it done. But I'm waiting for that moment. Then there were actually I had the habit of like always trying to read a book and never giving up. So I remember I have this book, Jahanara, and then I don't know why I bought that book, but I bought this. I read it. I think I read it at least twice, and then after reading it, I was so fond of Jahanara. So I asked, so my friend also, a senior of mine from ISO Kolkata, also asked to read. She also loved to read, and then. When she started reading this book and she couldn't actually, so she gave it back to me and then told that like I gave up, I couldn't. And I was like, yeah, I also felt that, but I didn't. So until this year, actually 2026, I was always like, okay, maybe it's still not time, but I'll get back to it. That was how I read the history of Raw. So in the start, I couldn't progress much, so I kept it away and I bought it in 2022, and it was actually in 2024, like 2 years it just stayed there, so in the Sundoku stage, and then after that I started reading it and I liked it. So this so there are so I always like try to finish the book. However, this year I started reading Gender and Caste in India. So that's a collection of essays, and it's very political, it's very socially relevant. It is about the inequality faced by both gender and caste. So together, how mostly these things, so religion and gender, makes things difficult for people, and it's like a lot of data, a lot of research goes into it. I tried reading it, I finished the introduction somehow. I think I started reading it like a while ago. I couldn't, and this month in January I started again and I finished the introduction and I started the chapter again. But after that, I was like, okay, I think I should give up, because I felt I'm reading, I'm going through pages, but then I'm not getting anything. So at that stage, I was like, okay, this is not for me, at least for now. And that luckily, that's not a book that I bought. It's not a purchased one. It's borrowed from a library. So I'm going to return that without reading. Then I read, this is a really good book. You should read it. I like satire. I like black comedy. So, the first one I ever read was by O.V. Vijayan. And then after that, now I found another one, Death at Intervals. It's by a Nobel Prize winning author, and I don't know if I will pronounce his name. Maybe I will pronounce it wrong, so I'm not trying. I don't remember it on my I don't think I remember the name correctly, but this author, he talks about a new year and suddenly death stopped in a country. The scenario was so nice that death stopped suddenly. How it affects that country, like how it affects its people, how it affects demographics, economy, everything, the culture, history, everything for like next generations. You would say people just stay, they don't die ever. So that's a different way of looking at things, and so satirical. I liked it, and that was a good one. Then the last book I think I read that year was a memoir by none other than our favorite author, Marquez' son. So his memory of his dad and his mom. So I have always heard about him, like Gabriel Garcia Marquez, but I never heard about his wife, and she's also an interesting person. I liked it, and This book, A Farewell to Gabo and Mercedes. So it's Mercedes, her name. So it was really nice. I liked it. It was so. I mean, it's the time when Marcus has disease and he's on his deathbed, and things are going pretty bad for the family, but how they cope with that. And then a few years later, Mercedes also passed away. So passes away. So these things, but how it is on a personal level. And I really like that book. It's not very heavy, emotionally indulging, but not very heavy. I think that's a wrap for the books I read in 2025. I started reading another book, that was The Dictionary of Lost Words, and by Pipe Williams and Pip Williams, PIP, whatever. So this is a good historical fiction. It's about the Oxford English Dictionary, and it talks about the time the dictionary was published. So the whole volumes, entire 12 volumes of OED being published. So the story takes place in a scriptorium of the editor of this OED, and story starts from the time first volume is published. So to and, that is already published, and rest of the from and to rest of B through Z, those are getting published. And it's a woman centric. So how women uses words, how vocabulary treats women. So these things, a little political. It's a really good read. I would really suggest if you want to read that, if you're really interested in that time. So it was the time of World War I, and then suffragette movements. So all these things. It's a historical fiction. I liked it, but I finished that book in 2026 because I was flying at the end last week of December, and then I flew back. So mostly I read that book on my flight or waiting in the airport. So I like that. So one thing I did good in the year 2025 is saying goodbye to social media, and I'm liking it. I got off social media. So it was really difficult for me. I have been trying always. Like, I get on and off. I log out of it. I uninstall it, but it was not helping me. I always get back there. And it's like hours spent there, and I feel always guilty about it. Now I am more guilty staying, like, idle. So at least I'm not hurting my sleep, because too much screen time was hurting my sleep a lot. So that's all. It's almost a 30-minute long video, but I liked every bit of it, and this is what happened with me past year. And overall it was a good year, and I hope you also had good one. If not, another year's year. And I also had like ups and downs, like more downs, but then with the right support system, things are going good. At least I'm thinking it's going good. And it's not the fake positivity I'm telling. Like, I know things can go wrong, but now I feel like I am looking forward to what I can do. And I just feel like maybe I can fix things. It's not fixing things, but I can do something about it. And if not, just that's it. Anyway, a new philosophy I'm trying to adapt into. That's all. Have a good year. Bye bye, babes.